Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media Update. All right, so today we're going to talk about Stephanie White again because she's the hot topic. But we are going to talk about Stephanie White's philosophy. What is Stephanie White's philosophy? What is Stephanie White's pedigree? What is her pedigree of coaching? What is her philosophy of running a team? What is her bread and butter for team success? So if we look at back in the day, when she played with the Indiana Fever, Kelly Croscroft and Stephanie alluded to defense. She preached defense in a press conference. She preached defense in the other interview. And she preached defense in an interview that I'm going to show you from a podcast from 107.5 The Fan. And she talked about defense a lot. But I want y'all to understand something too. In her press conference, even though she talked about defense, a lot of people wondering what the offense is going to look like. Is the offense going to change? Is she going to run the same kind of offense she ran in Connecticut, the slow-paced offense? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's going to be a little of both. And the reason why I said that, because probably some of you are concerned about how the Fever are going to look next year, how the Fever are going to play. But Stephanie iterated in her press conference that the Fever are going to continue to be a fun-loving, fast, up-tempo team. But she also illustrated that this team is going to be a defense, have defense as their pedigree too. And the reason why I said that, because just imagine some of the great teams that played from basketball to NFL. Now, one of my favorite college basketball teams of all time is UNLV Running Rebel. I love myself some UNLV Running Rebel. I had everything UNLV: shirts, hats, sneakers, everything that you could. Because I love Anderson Hunt. I love Stacey Augmon. I love Larry Johnson. And the way they played, they was fast, but they played defense. They was good in defense, and they could score on you. If you move it to the NBA, you look at Chicago Bulls, how they played. They had a triangle offense. They played defense, but they got on the fast break. They was able to score points, a bunch of points, playing defense and getting out in transition. And that's just something that Stephanie White is trying to illustrate right now. You could play up-tempo, but at some point in time, you're going to have to play defense, because if your shot is not falling, you got to hang your head on it. Now, so I'm going to play the press conference clip again so y'all can listen to and then understand that she's not going to take away from the offense. The offense is going to be there still, but she wants to implement the defense to help the offense when the offense can't have that up-tempo, that fast-paced game.
Ryan and Kelly, they're an exciting team to watch. I think offensively we can be more creative. I think we can utilize, more versatility, utilize the certain players in different ways. I'm a forward-thinking, outside-the-box kind of coach. I like to challenge them on a number of levels. They're a high IQ team, so also giving them the freedom to make plays. Like, you want to make plays, you don't run plays. Everybody knows at the end of the day, players win the ball games, right? You got to give them the freedom, the confidence to believe in their abilities to make those plays, but also a little bit of the structure to help them see the different ways that you can attack. I think we've got to get better on the defensive end of the floor. Certainly, we don't have to make leaps and bounds and go from wherever we are to the top, right? But we've got to continue to get better. We've got to make sure on the days that shots aren't falling that we're able to position ourselves to win ball games. And I was never a player who played defense. Dunn can attest to that. But it is a big part of how I coach. And so, yeah, see, I see you agreeing right there. You like that. But it is a big part of how I coach, and it's an important piece of us positioning ourselves to win ball games. And so, we'll attack that as well, and we'll continue to get better on that end of the floor. But more than anything, we want to continue to be exactly what they are: a fun, fast-paced, up-tempo style of play. They're sharing the basketball, making teammates better, building quality depth. I would love, I always said this as a coach the last 2 years, but with this team as well, it's a long season. And next season, 44 games. We want to get a quality rotation. We want to put the best players who play well together on the floor in a consistent rotation. And we got to play the long game. Certainly you want to win every game, and you want to compete every game, but playing the long game, positioning yourselves for the playoffs, positioning yourselves to win playoff series is important.
All right, so now, as y'all have listened to what Stephanie White has to say right there, she said it's all about the long game. It's all about positioning yourself in for the playoffs. But you want to maintain two things: your offensive identity, and you will have a defensive identity. Because the main thing about it is when you have a defensive identity and the game starts to slow down, and we all know playoff basketball is totally different from regular season. But when it slows down, you are able to execute better. You're able to hang your hat on defense to generate offense. That's just like in the NFL. If you watch great defensive teams, they play so much defense, the offense struggle to move the ball again, and then finally, as the game goes on, you're able to loosen up one of the team's defense to get points. Stephanie White is out, and I'm going to give her this credit. She's an architect in her philosophy or what she believes in, and that's defense. Because even though she was not a great defensive player, she recognized defense helps win games. Defense helps generate points, because you can't run up and down the court all game long and then you be tired. As you have seen, Kelsey and Caitlin kind of wore down a little bit in the second half of the season with the last few games going into the playoffs. They kind of wore down a little bit because Chrissy Sides don't know how to slow the game down. She don't know how to speed the game up. She wants to slow the game down, and there was no half-court offense. You don't have the players on the Fever right now to run half-court offense. So you need to be able to play a different style. And teams knew that. They knew how to exploit the Fever. They knew Caitlin was not a great one-on-one person. They know how to box out Aaliyah Boston. They know Kelsey Mitchell was too small. They know Lexi Hall would get in foul trouble because they was playing too much one-on-one defense and not enough group defense, where they was able to, how some teams blitzed Caitlin Clark, ran 2 or 3 people at her, trap players, play zone. And I think that with Kelly, Stephanie, and Amber, they are going to find these players that could do everything. Trap, play zone, some one-on-one. Because you don't have to have a play one-on-one all the time. If you go back to the 91 finals with Jordan and the Lakers, when Jordan was on Magic, and Magic exploited Jordan. And this is before Jordan later on became a really great defensive player. Because guess what? After that championship, they was able to not just play one-on-one, but they was able to play a lot of trapping, force turnovers, you know, say for instance, when Karl Malone had got the ball on Rodman, in I think it was the first championship when they played Utah, or the second one, when I think it was the second one, because that's the game when Joy hit the last shot. But Karl Malone got the ball down in the paint. Rodman was playing defense on him, but guess what? Joy came on the weak side and stripped the ball from him and got a turnover. That's the kind of defense that you want. If you look at the Minnesota Lynx, they play really good defense, but they don't have great offense. That's the thing. See, you could have great defense, but if you ain't putting the ball in the paint, then that poses a problem. And that's what Stephanie White is talking about. She is talking about, yeah, we could score 100 points a game, but at some point, we're going to have to play games that's slow paced. You're going to have to play teams that's going to slow you down. So how are you going to get points? And like I said again, the Indiana Fever, when they play the Lynx, they play the Sun, they play the Liberty, they even the Seattle Storm. When those teams was able to slow them down and play half court, the Fever could not play half court because they do not have the players to do that. As much as I love Dantes and Tammy Bailey, Katie Lou Sampson, at one point, Katie Lou Sampson knew she was no good to the team no more. She took herself out of starting rotation. She pretty much became a bench player who did not get no minutes. She was cheerleading. Tammy Bailey, she stays hurt all the time. Dantes came in from an injury, so she was never ever in shape. Could she get back into that shape to be able to run the floor? We don't know. We don't know what is in hold, what is in entail for this team. So me saying this is that this team is going to have, like Kelly said, they want to be some veterans, but they want to be tall. They want to be rangy. That's where you get your best trapping, because guess what? Once you can grab rebounds, once you can get steals, once you could trap, turn the ball over, that puts you in a better position as a team to run your half-court sets, run fast break, get points, get really good ball movement. Ball movement is going to be so crucial on offense for the team. And the thing about it is, because if your defense is really good, it's going to translate in offensive points, fast break. Even at that time, it's going to help certain situations with your team. Now, I want to play that clip with Stephanie talking to 1075 The Fan, and she illustrated again defense. Check it out.
The next level, you mentioned that, the next level for this team and franchise is what, in your opinion?
It's competing for championships. You know, we think about the expectation was always to be competing for championships, and I think now we have an opportunity again to be doing that. Certainly, it's going to take some time. I mean, these are young players. There's no substitute for experience. If we can get a couple more veteran players around them, build depth in our bench, and those who have been around sports for a long time knows that it's a difficult thing to do, right? Certainly, all the stars have to align, but this roster, these players, generational talent like Caitlin Clark, and certainly Aaliyah Boston, when she's finished with her career, is going to go down in history as probably the best center that we've seen in our league. And you think about building around those two, championships is the expectation, to compete for championships year in and year out.
Now, you heard that. And the thing about this, Stephanie White understands what she has in Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. You have to hang your head on defense. You have to be able to commit to defense. Everybody knows Caitlin Clark is not a great one-on-one defense, but Caitlin has shown that she is a great help defensive player. She will come over, block shots. She will come over, steal. She will jump in the passing lane. She's a great rebounder for a guard. She was averaging almost 7 rebounds a game this season. So she has the intangibles to be even greater on both ends of the court. You know what I'm saying? And like Stephanie said, you don't have to be a great one-on-one player, but help defense is going to be probably the better bread and butter of this team. And once they get a few veterans, like she alluded to, and then she said, the main thing that I was talking about all season long when I was talking about this team, bench, scoring, depth on the bench. Because if you have great, look at the Washington Mystics. They have one of the deepest bench in the league, even though their starters is okay, but they couldn't win games. But they had the highest scoring bench in the league. I think it was averaging like 30-something points off the bench. The games that the Fever played, I think the one game they played against the Aces in the second half, the Aces bench scored 30 points. So you need great depth on defense. Great depth on your bench, and you need great depth at scoring as well. So let me see. I think that would probably be about could be 3 or 5 things. So on defense, you need depth on the bench. You need players that's committed to help defense. You're going to play some zone. You're going to play one-on-one. You're going to have a lot of trapping defense that generating and turnovers and lead to fast break points and fast break offense. So with that being said, guys, I think Stephanie has a really good philosophy how she wants this team to be, because she knows this team is young, and she alluded to Aaliyah Boston probably go down in history as one of the best centers ever to play the game. And guess what? Stephanie White is going to get the best out of Leah Boston. Watch what I tell you. Leah Boston is going to come back in camp in shape. She already want to be able to run up and down the floor with Caitlin. So she knows if Leah Boston come in this next season as a beast, and I'm talking about dominating the likes of Asia Wilson, and which that's a tall task, but when Leah Boston plays against Tina Thompson and Breonna Jones, she dominates them. But even when she plays against BG, her and BG goes at it. But she gets the best of BG though, even though BG plays a little dirty sometimes with her. So try to sling her around and throw her down. But I think Aaliyah Boston gonna have that dog in her next season. Her and Caitlin gonna have that dog. Caitlin already got that dog in her. She already got that dog. Leah Boston get that dog in her. Man, let me explain something to y'all. If you notice in the second half of the season how this team was really, really, really cutting up, they started getting a little bit nasty, chippy with other teams. Watch how they play. When they especially once they get a defense identity and the players that they bring in, man, when I tell you the Indiana Fever are going to be something to deal with, you already know what they're going to be able to do offensively. And like I said, the players that they're going to be looking for is going to be able to give you depth on the bench, scoring, and defense. When you combine them three together, it's going to make your life easier as a starter, because you got somebody to come in, play just as hard defense. You might have 3 people scoring on offense. You got 2 defensive players. One of them could probably get you some points. But then you bring in your bench. You utilize your rotation. That's something Chrissy Sines didn't do. She didn't know how to utilize rotation. She was playing with the rotation so much from the first half of the season going to the second half till she finally found a rotation by allowing Lexi Hall to finally be in the game. So all I'm saying, guys, is that Stephanie White philosophy is defense. But make no mistake, her philosophy is going to be on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. And I think she's not going to take away from the offensive identity, because like she illustrated in the video, she wants them to be fun-loving and fast-paced, up-tempo team. She don't want them to lose that identity. So as some of y'all are concerned about that, don't be. That part of the team's identity will still be intact. But you will see a new identity of the team, which is a defensive team as well. So once you have both of them in sync, this team going to take off for success. And like I said before in all of my other videos, this team is going to play for a championship in 2025. That's their goal, to come out and get to the playoffs and play for a championship. NAFE will go to the championship in their first year in Stephanie White's. You know they're winning it. There ain't no doubt they're not going to win it. So, again, tell me what you think of the video or what you thought, your thoughts of Stephanie White, how she's going to implement her philosophy and her identity for defense, and where it won't take away so much from the offense. And like I said, as I play both clips for y'all can draw your own conclusion. But leave your likes, comments, and down below. Continue to support the channel. I am a few subscribers away from 7,000 subscribers. So come on, guys. I see y'all like it. I see y'all comment. I see y'all view the videos. Hit that like button. Don't cost you nothing. Hey, soon as I get to where I need to be, get monetized, guess what? I got some fever shirts for y'all. So therefore, continue to support the channel, help me grow, and I'll reward you. Until then, this is Livewire Sports Media, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.